Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Cameron from the Millennium Duelist coming back at you again with another video, coming right in with it. Today, following up on my last video where I talked about Sky Striker in the metagame, gonna be giving you my Sky Striker deck profiles. This is one of my favorite decks. This deck is super fun to play. I think it's pretty strong right now. I think rogue decks are pretty strong, and this is just a rogue control deck into a format that is just solid for it. I went over that in the last video, so check that out if you want me breaking that down. But yeah, so let's honestly just jump right into it. Get going. Obviously, first thing, 3 copies of Ray, 2 copies of Rose. I think this is not controversial at all. This is going second striker, but honestly, I would keep these ratios the same no matter what. Obviously, you want 3 Ray, and then Rose is just 2. I think is the standard now. I think it's kind of been decided upon that the 2 Rose is kind of the move, but yeah, I wouldn't change it. You need to see 1, so I would do it. This is, like I said, it's going second, so. Moving on to the spells, because that's all the monsters you play. We got the 3 copies of Widow Anchor. It's the best card in the deck. Like, without question, this is the best card in the deck. This card's insane. You feel any slight sense of danger, and you just Widow Anchor. You just do it. Steal your opponent's monster, 3 or more, and negate. It's, card's great, and the recursion with it is insane. Yeah, that card at 3 is pretty nuts. Next up, 3 Shark Cannon is really good right now in the format, playing against just a lot of these decks, being able to banish their stuff, summon it back to your side of the field. The graveyard is really prevalent right now, so being able to control that is pretty important, I'd say. So yeah, I think Shark Cannon is really good, especially if you're able to get a set off on it. 2 Afterburners. 2 Afterburners is great. I mean, double pop with 3 or more spells engrave. Which is really easy to get with this deck in general, but especially with this version of the deck. Yeah, I've played 3. I think 3 is good too. It comes down to preference, honestly. This is a 40 card deck, so you kind of have like a 1-of slot. You really play 39, so you kind of have an extra slot in there where you can kind of play around, do what you want. So I personally played 2. For the 1-of striker spells you play the 1 copy of Hornet Drones, because it's just another rare rose. The 1 copy of Jamming Waves, pretty solid, and 1 copy of, if I don't drop it, Multi-Roll. Multi-Roll, this card's insane. Like, this card is so crazy. It's limited. It's amazing being able to recycle your spells. Yeah, nuts. Jamming Waves, just good. That's just a good card. And Hornet Drones, giving you another starter and then also kind of a blocker on your opponent's turn is very nice. 2 copies of the field spell. This card's great. I think it's one of the best field spells, just period. It's so good. Letting you excavate and then, you know, yeah, this card's really good. That's all there really is to say. Being able to pop it to get another Ray out, I mean, gives the skill ceiling with that card, I think, is ridiculously high. Now, for a little bit of the spice, we play the 3 Foolish Burial Goods and 1 Metal Foes Fusion package. I think this is really good for the deck, actually. So if you open Foolish Burial Goods, you can immediately activate it, send it into grave. That's 2 spells in grave, like off the rip, which is super, super good for this deck, loading that graveyard with spells. Plus Metal Foes Fusion, if you're not drawing into the cards you need, you can activate it, send it, get the draw effect, and you're either baiting an Ash or you're getting, you know, your pieces that you need if you didn't open your Ray, Rose, or Hornet Drone. So I think it's great. I like this package a lot. Foolish Burial Goods also acts as like a second send with Hayate, if that doesn't make it through. So yeah, I think it's great. I've been liking it a lot myself. Play 2 Desires, 1 Avarice. I don't play 3 Desires because I don't want to resolve 3 Desires. I really don't want to resolve 2 Desires most of the time. And Avarice, this deck is insanely grindy. So grinding out, in a grindy deck, basically Avarice reigns supreme. Being able to reshuffle your monsters in this deck especially is very, very potent. So very good card to play. Some 1-ofs that we play. Terraforming, great. Rhoda, Monsters are Warriors, so great. Upstart Goblin, you actually have to play this card in the deck. This card, you're trolling if you don't play this card because it's a free spell in your graveyard and it's 39 card deck. Okay, you have to play Upstart Goblin in this deck. I would actually never cut this card. This card's so good. Like I know in other decks cutting it is like really normal. No, I would not cut it in this deck. It's amazing. All right, and then running it out here, this is controversial, I'd say. Play 1 copy of Mystic Mine. Not controversial about how good it is in the deck, controversial to play because your friends might not want to play with you anymore afterwards. And that's okay. I understand. I would understand. I'd be like, wow, that makes sense. Tristan, I think, has a couple funny stories with the Mystic Mine, and he and I. But yeah, no, it's a great card. It's too good not to play in this deck. Like, you're only really getting 1 monster on the field at a time, and especially into a combo format, this card is going to just destroy your opponent. So yeah, absolutely, mine is kind of a must, honestly. Oh, and 1 Duster as well. Kind of self-explanatory. Going into the final cards on our main deck is the hand trap lineup, because this is going second. We play a lot. We got 3 Lancia. That card is super good. 3 Ash. Most generic hand trap, and we play the 3, make some more space here. 3 Gamma and 1 Driver. So breaking these down a little bit, I kind of went for, so Ash is basically, it's the most generic hand trap in the game. It hits pretty much everything. There's not really much things it's not going to be hitting. It's just too good not to play most of the time. Lancia is crazy right now. Pretty much every deck is banishing. Phantom Knights. This card traps Phantom Knights invoked. Trash is invoked. Even the doll part of it gets kind of hard without it. Lancia means no schism. So that's really good. If you're playing against Virtual World, it's really good. Yeah, pretty much everything. That card's insane. Super high impact. Same with Gamma. Gamma is another one of those like really, really high impact cards that I would rather be caught with than without. I'd rather resolve it once in a game and then have the remaining 2 as bricks than to not resolve it at all and just be caught lacking and lose off of it. I feel like I've won games off of a single Gamma way too many times to cut this card. I think this card's crazy. So yeah, that I think will wrap it up for our main deck. Like I said, 40 cards. Nice, clean, concise. I would never play more in this deck especially. But moving on to our extra deck. The extra deck is pretty standard for this. We got 3 copies of Kagari, 3 copies of Hayate. I'm doing this upside down, I'm so sorry. It's kind of ugly. And then 3 copies of Shizuku. Let's make some more space. Whoa. Yeah, you just max out on the Sky Striker cards, like all the good ones. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Hayate with the direct attack and the send effect. Once you stack your graveyard, lets you set up really well. Kagari is gonna let you recur, which is super, super great. Shizuku getting your end phase search. Yeah, really good. Cards are great. I would, again, I'd rather be caught with them than without them. Moving on to the rest of the extra deck, we've got the 1 Kaina and the 1 Zeke. Zeke is really good, letting you, I broke it down a little bit in the last video, but you can, if you're going into a Winda, you can Widow Anchor away the Winda to steal it if you get your 3 spells engraved. And then you can link it off into a Zeke, and then you can pop a card and it gives you a permanent boost, which is really, really good. Her attack boost is permanent. It's really nice. And you can banish one of your opponent's monsters until the end phase of their turn. So really good. Kaina, play over time. You play over time with Kaina. Also, it lets you live. Keeps you from getting your Sky Striker spells completely out, or cards completely outed. So yeah, these cards are great. Final thing, or final stuff in here, we've got the 1 Needle Fiber, got a Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn, and the final guy, Access Code Talker. These cards all really, really nice in their own ways. Needle Fiber, super, super handy. Use it for the access code combo. It's It's great. It lets you close out games. This deck has problems with closing out a game most of the time, which is kind of where this deck struggles the most. But Hug Fibrex remedies that with access code. So that's really good. If you can't afford the access code talker, I think access code is obviously, that card's really strong. And if you can get it, you should. It is absolutely a card that will win you a game, especially with all the different link attributes you're putting in your grave. But you can play Utopia package if you don't have it. Yeah, and you play these guys because Phoenix is our link 2, which gives you pop, really good. Unicorn is your link 3 to go into Needle Fiber. Basically, you can Alka Fibrex, and then you link into the Unicorn, and then you can steal one of your opponent's monsters with Widow Anchor or Shark Cannon and make your access code talker, is usually how that's going to end up going. And yeah, I used to play the Selene package with Effect Veiler, but I think Effect Veiler is just too weak to play right now. Like, honestly, it's just not high impact enough. You know, if you look at what I am playing, you look at the Gammas, you look at the Lancias, just those are going to be hitting a lot more, and they're going to be doing a lot more for you in a duel versus what an Effect Veiler is going to do. Even Imperm. Imperm is way better, I'd say, than Effect Veiler. But yeah, it's just not, it's not got the same sauce. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. But yeah, anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for the profile. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I super appreciate it. It's for Ray out here, just for the final bit here. Thank you guys for watching the Skystriker profile. I hope that this helps you out and helps you maybe win some duels. I hope you like the Foolish Burial Goods package. I think it's great. And yeah, if this helps you out, or if you like the content, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm not gonna ramble on too much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.